What's up and what's going on, good people? What's up and what's going on, good people? We are back. Sorry for the delays for today, and the delays in general haven't been on since I believe Saturday. Haven't been on since I believe Saturday. So shout out to everyone in the building. Shout out to everyone in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Salty Balls. Dropped a super chat on it before we even got things started. Drop something on it. We'll be acknowledging that. And the rest of you in the building do appreciate it. I'm looking at comments down there. Y'all funny. Do appreciate each and every one of you being in the building. About to get this thing started. Strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up and what's going on? Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Glad to be back in the building. Shout out to each and every one of you. Emin Perry says, yes, she will. To the title question, will Danaya Jackson make more money off of black women than Derrick Jaxn? He says, yes, she will. That's a daunting task. That man has made a lot of money. Or as, I hope I didn't get rid of that. I think I did. I think I got rid of that clip of April Mason saying, yep, I got rid of it. I got to bring it back. And I don't know where I will find it. A clip of April Mason. She was talking to the lead attorney and she took her glasses off and was like, if you want to make a lot of money, get in the dating business and sell black women fluff. She said that. And Derrick Jaxn has definitely made the bag off of that. A lot of you know the backstory. I covered it. His ex-wife came out doing a tell-all snitching tour, where she's really doing a lot of self-snitching as well. But yeah, and that's what's going on. But shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to the Early Bird Squad, those of you making it in bright and early, just being jazzy podcast, crafty ideas and chill spot. Shout out to you, and shout out to the Mac the Trucker. Said that thumbnail is golden. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. I worked so hard on it. Shout out to Deacon Salty Balls in the building. They never make that quite right for me, but shout out to you. He says, Scroll of the Wounded Healer 2 and 3. Beware. Beware, thine she heathen is a discipline in the cult of narcissists. I can't read the super chats. They just be too potent, too rich with information. She delude. I don't even know that word. See, I can't read the super chats. I think she indulged herself. That's what I want to say. Indulge, but I don't know what deluged herself into blasphemy, holy waters of delusion, and whispers about the public square in her ear only inflates her head into thine ethers. I think I got the second half of that right. His super chats just be too just rich with wisdom that a mere mortal like me can barely read them. But shout out to Deacon Salty Balls in the building. Shout out to Domino King. Shout out to, who else we got in here? Shout out to Too Damn Snazzy. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to Jackie Jack in the building. Shout out to JC the Conqueror in the building. Shout out to Emin Perry. He says, I hope she clean his butt out. Wow. I don't go that route. Like, for me, there is no situation. You can cut the music. For me, there's no situation where I look at a man who about to get took to the cleaners or some sort. No matter what he did, I'm still not, I hope she really clean him out in divorce court. Now, if somebody's a bad person or they did some ill stuff, yeah, I want them to get their comeuppance in some kind of other way, but I can't root for that for that system win. If you understand what I'm saying, I can't root for that. It just I can't. You know, I hope she come out. I mean, I hope I just can't root for it. I'm not rooting for it. JC the Congress said, I'm not rooting for a man to fail. There's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that going on. In fact, speaking of rooting for a man to
suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
Yes. I had to make sure we drop that one. Oh my goodness, my mouth is sticking. And RM is saying in the back, I think he means diluted. I think that's probably accurate too. But as I step into this, JC the Congress said he's not rooting for a man to fail. It's a lot of that going around. How many of y'all have been keeping up on the the goings ons between Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit? Now, here's the deal. The shout out to Edward Anderson. He's like, Ed be like, ain't none of them ADOS. We need not care. we need not concern ourselves. But no. Yeah, we gonna concern ourselves. The reason I concern myself with this, because like we've been talking about it for a while. It's something that I believe started in the belly of the beast of this space, that people who do red pill or red pill adjacent content taking a shit. I was trying not to cuss earlier, but I'm gonna go and let it out. People who do red pill and red pill adjacent content taking a shit on red pill content, like that's become the wave. Like I remember I was practically at ground zero when the true originator of that is a C Boogie. A lot of people don't know that. He was the first person I seen go heel turn on the manosphere. And I say Abba and Preach kind of went heel turn on it too, because they did a stream a while back talking about how the red pill was needed. They wasn't claiming that they were red pill. They weren't trying to rep it. They were just saying it's necessary, it's needed. Men like, certain, resources when it come to getting information about manhood and masculinity and you know, it's nothing out there. It's not a whole lot out there in the mainstream media and TV and everything. So they said it's not a perfect machine, not a perfect instrument, but they was talking about how it's necessary and is needed. And I think even Abba explained how, you know, sort of some red pill or red pill adjacent content did help him out at some point in his life. You know, earlier on a little bit, you know, when it was at the early stages of it, because he's been on this internet doing his internet thing for a while. They don't have to say I never knew they were red pill. No. They never repped it. I remember it was a clip going around. Well, not a clip going around. Hell, Myron played it last night when Abba was on their show, and he was like, "Hey, you call me blue pill. Why do you think I'm blue pill?" The only reason you question somebody about calling you blue pill is if you consider yourself red pill. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. And so they've always done red pill adjacent content. They've always dipped their toe in it. But somewhere along the way, they figured out that, wait a minute, it's more profitable to just trash these men. So, you know, from Donovan Sharp, Modern Life Dating, he took a public L. A chick was just basically just being, you know, a chick was going off on him about some stuff he said, and he was being dismissive, and she threw out some insults or whatever. Yeah, that's enough for people to start seal clapping and start celebrating, and that's enough for men to come out the woodwork and try to criticize and bash a man because a woman, you know, beat him in an insult contest that he declined to even participate in. And then now when it was a time when something like that would happen, and then all the women, all the sisterhood would be doing content on top of content. Oh, she told him, you know, that it was a time when that would be the case. But now when something like that happens, all the men gotta do content, gotta jump on it. Rollo Tomasi had a bad moment. All right. He said he gave some bad advice about getting in a vasectomy in your 20s. Maybe he didn't know that they're not really as reversible as he thought. And then he should have just said, hey, my bad. Everything else I said was good. Just take the vasectomy off the list. But he didn't. He tried to deflect, and he had a bad moment. And then you notice everybody started calling him the Godfather after that. Did y'all notice that? Like he's been called the Godfather or one of the Godfathers of Red Pill before. He's been called that before. But you saw it in every single title. When he had that bad moment, that's when everybody put it in their title. Red Pill Godfather said this. The Godfather of the Red Pill. The Godfather. They only re-anointed him the Godfather just so they could criticize. You said I need some snapping lessons. Oh, my snap wasn't on point? I can't snap with my left hand. I can't snap my fingers with my left hand. I only can snap with the right hand. So I know my snap, my snap was solid. Only can snap with my right hand. So my lean with it, rock with it is trash. I only can snap with my right hand. But so anyway, go play somewhere. All right. They only re-anointed him as the Godfather. They only re-anointed him as the Godfather of the Red Pill because he had a bad moment. Like that's how in the toilet or how garbage the current reputation of the Manosphere and Red Pill is that people will only acknowledge him as a Godfather. Now me, he never been no Godfather to me. I just started listening to him 6 months ago. But so they say. He wrote the book The Rational Male. That was one of the first books on the subject matter. So okay. So people called him the Godfather of the Red Pill casually back then. Okay. He had a bad moment. Now you're seeing it in every single title. Godfather of Red Pill. They only re-anointed him. They only came and put the James Brown cape on him because he had a bad moment, and they know that could be used to besmirch the entire space of men who speak up for men who give a masculine or male centric counterpunch to the female centric propaganda that's been put out there in media for years. But now the biggest enemy to it now is men fighting against it. And then the hypocrisy in it is that those same men turn around and do the same type of content. So it's really just a bunch of men just fighting each other and jousting for position. Like when the stuff happened with Pearl, Jason Black didn't take that opportunity to poke holes and poke and prod or attack the white supremacist that was on the dais. No, he said, this is a good time for me to go to war with my black male or black YouTube competitors. It's like, so it's just a bunch of nonsense. Like, nobody cares about a movement. No, it just is done. Even within the space, everybody got something, wild and wacky to say about the other one. It's just so it's all bad and it's all messed up. It's all bad and it's all messed up. But we may get back to that. We may get back to the to the fresh and fit battle royal. I ain't got clips or nothing to play to that. I just wanted to give my analysis on this seemingly, and Abbott and Preacher at the forefront of it. They didn't start it. I have my theories on who started it, but they saw it. They saw smaller creators, I believe. They saw smaller creators leading that charge, and they said, this shitting on the manosphere thing could serve to be, you could grow like that. Let me just, wait for them to have a bad moment so I can really blow it up. And so that's what's going on there. But anyway, let me get to the main topic. That was a segue. That was a detour. Let me get to the main topic. Will Danaya Jackson make more money off of black women than Derrick Jaxn? Will she make more? Excuse me. Will she make more money off of black women than Derrick Jaxn? Let me get that. That ain't how I want that to look. Yeah, almost there. I don't know what's going on. I need a new mouse. We can go with that.
Hold up.
We can go with that. But all right. Let's get into it. All right. Danaya Jackson says she's fasted and prayed, and the spirit of the Lord directed her to charge those outlandish prices. She is charging, and I put it in the title, in the thumbnail, and that wasn't an exaggeration. That is the actual real deal, actual prices that she's charging for pain, turning profit to pain, or pain to profit healing services or something like that. And the internet, of course, came for. So we're going to get into that. But I do got to take some time here. Hold on.
Hold up.
That comment, the audacity is sold separately. I do got to get into, hold on one second. All right, sorry, I'm still dotting I's and still crossing T's and working out kinks. The Mac the Trucker beat me to the punch. You see, her charging, for a healing service course, heal from your pain and your trauma course or whatever she's selling, 2 payments for 2 easy payments of $3,000, $499.99. It makes you say that she was complicit the whole time. Now, we found out in the interview that she did with the Dear Future Wifey dude, Laterris Whitfield, I think his name is. She said she was running the business. She said that she, was running the business and doing so much behind the scenes that she had employees. Like she had to hire 3 people to help her do what she did. She was that much involved in the business. All right. She was that much involved into the business. Knowing who he was and what he was doing and how he was living, but she was so deep into the business, running the economics of it, running all the behind the scenes, doing all the secretary, all the administrative work, all the upper management work. She was vice president of $1 million company where she knew the person who was in on it was a fraud. That's co-conspirator at best. She's a co-conspirator at best. So now here we are. Fast forward later, they got a divorce, and now she's after learning at the foot of the master at how easily black women are manipulated out of their hard-earned dollars. She's like, hey, I got to pivot, still be in the same business. Make no mistake, these are the same customers, but I'm going to pivot over and just try to get that money off them in a different way. That's essentially what that is. That's essentially what's going on there. Now, here's the dark, sort of sinister, sort of sick, twisted aspect or angle of what she's doing. Here's the sort of sinister, dark, sick, twisted angle of what she's doing. It's kind of the same business with the same customers, because when Derrick Jackson was talking about some self-love, going on your self-love journey, self-love, giving them all that information that's going to basically lead to them being by themselves. Giving them all that dating advice is going to lead to them being by themselves. So he can sell them self-love. Like it's like a cut you with a knife so I can sell you a bandage type of sales strategy. After he did all that, she's in a similar business, but it's sort of in opposition to his. All right. She got mad, jealous, bitter, butthurt over the cheating, even though it was sort of out there that she knew everything that was going on and was complicit with it and was a part of the rotation. And then she got pregnant and then they got married. She was just a rotation. She was a long-standing main chick who was in the rotation, who got pregnant, and then they got married. So that happened. All right. That happened. So when you take all of that and average it into the equation, yes, over time, her being with him and him mess with other women and she know about it, okay, and she got butt hurt by it, was complicit, was helping him, was basically being a part of the pipeline that drew all the women in if she was running the company. I mean, but never mind that over time a woman do got they fifis, they feelings, they get jealous, they get hurt. Okay. They're emotional creatures. Over time, yeah. Okay. Over time it became a problem. And so now she divorcing him. And now she taking his money. Now she's probably gonna take his money in the divorce. And now she's in a opposing business. That when I say opposing business, I mean a business that's sort of like her expertise on being hurt is predicated on the hurt that she's saying that he caused her. I'll say that again. Her expertise on being hurt is predicated on the hurt that he's saying she caused her. Which means every time that he go try to do what he do, she's going to be just as loud somewhere talking about how she's healing from the hurt of this person who's trying to give the same group of women advice. It's like her business strategy is basically to attack his business strategy. So it's like, I'm gonna take half your money, I'm gonna go on these tell-all tours. I'm gonna try to fuck up your money, and I'm about to try to take all your customers and give them the real healing that they ain't getting from you. I'm about to try to fuck up your money at every level. Through the divorce, through the business, through this, that. She is going in. She is gearing up to go in.
I know the way a living was whack. She don't get it back like that.
She is trying to get it all up out him. All about him. But all right, let me get to these right here. It was a interesting conversation going on. Shout out to the on-site Instagram page for catching all of this. Daily Dollar. Okay, I don't know the name of the person. It don't matter. It's that she says, "Come on, Danaya. You got to consider your audience. Don't let greed get in your spirit. There are millions of women who need your help, or you don't have to charge this price. Get real and cut it out." Now, she's basically saying 2 payments of $3,500. Well, let's be fair. $3,499.99. 2 payments of that is too much for whatever healing services you selling. Danaya Jackson responded by saying, "When I fasted and prayed on it for 52 days. Why specific 52 days? RM, is that 52 days that a relevant number in the Bible or something? Like what you know? Somebody let me know. Somebody who read the word. Why 52 days? Whenever somebody throw a number out there, it's like it's some biblical related reason for 52 days specifically. Okay, so when I fasted and prayed on it for 52 days, I was given clear direction on my 495 standard. Because there is a lower tier price, there I think there's an in-person price for like it's something for $4,900. I missed that. I'm looking at that now. It's something for $3,499.99. Then it's something else for $495. But the lower tier stuff where I think she's just gonna pray for you over the phone or something, I think that's $495. But it says, I fasted and prayed on it for 52 days. I was given clear direction on my $495 standard fee and my one-on-one standard fee. Then the person responds by saying, I believe that was you and not the spirit of the Lord, because your ratings and how people respond to this are going to let you know what source that came from. The Lord can tell you something, and then everybody else look at what the Lord tell you, and they like, the Lord didn't tell me that. God told you to charge $4,900. He for damn sure ain't tell me to pay $4,900 for whatever you offering. But it says the response people give is going to let you know what source that came from. You're not considering your audience. Your audience is not a bunch of rich people. She goes on to say, I'm just sitting there thinking, Derrick Jackson books, $10, $15. Them mentally stimulate me. Card games was, I don't know, $19.99 or something like that. Like, he wasn't breaking the bank in one big whop. He was in the quantity game. He was in the quantity game. I'd rather get $10 from 100,000 people than try to get $100,000 from 10 people. That's what she's trying to do. But the person goes on to say, and you and me both know, if you were rich, and me and you both know, if you were rich, and have $4,900 just laying around, you would have left him a long time ago. with money can pay to leave. I think people with money can pay to leave. You're not being realistic to your audience. You're not being realistic to your audience. And she says, hold on, not that part right there, because that part is cut off. It says, my price is my price, bitch. Okay, she didn't say bitch. Said, my price is my price. My time and clinical professionals that I've partnered with. That part is cut off. Where is that at? Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Oh, here we go. My price is my price. My time and the clinical professionals that I've partnered with. Time is valuable. So she's partnering with clinical professionals. So she's being the head, the face of it, and she's getting the professionals in the background. I respect that business wise, because they about to hit her with some you ain't licensed. Nah, she's gonna get hit with that one. And then she goes on to say, you can charge whatever you want to charge, but you don't have a degree in women's health like I do. I'm going to tell you right now, the public's response to this is going to let you know what source that came from. She's still trying to tell it. Alert did not give you this information, this price point. Going to let you know what source that came from. You can stick to that if you want to, but remember, people have to agree to it, and it looks like they don't. And they don't feel like you're qualified to be charging the amount, being that you have not been to college for this partners are no partners. It's rude to your audience. You're being rude. You barely healed yourself. I think that's what she goes on to say. Like, yeah. And so they clowning the shit out of her in the comment section. They clowning the shit out of her. It looked like she got something like a whole one-day thing. Introduction, the first step of healing after infidelity. That's what I meant when I said, like, right here on this part that y'all probably can't see. Her whole mission is based on this man who's going around talking about how men shouldn't cheat. She basing everything on him cheating on her. It's like it's like she's kneecapping him right there. I'm going for your customers. Sir Tyson in the building with the $5 super chat. He says, you're giving her way too much credit. She's not that smart, and his appeal has little to do with his advice. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. I don't think I'm giving her too much credit. I don't think that she will execute it that well. Okay, wait, RM saying, no, the 52, it's just referring to 52 months. I mean, 52 weeks out the year. Ah, okay, so that's what she means. She just prayed on it for a year. Okay, cool. I don't know how successful she'll be at it, but I know what she's trying to do. Like, people don't start businesses in the frame of mind that I'm about to just half-ass this shit. No, she started the business with the goal and intention of, I'm about to take market share on women frustration, confusion, hurt, and loneliness. That's what she's doing. So let's be real. That's a part of the training. That's a part, let's be real. I'll bust the windows out your car. Who hurt you? Uncovering forgiveness, the power of forgiveness. Yeah. Comment sections get even funnier. Somebody said, in response to her charging $3,499.99, says, get a journal, write down what happened, and ask yourself, do I need this BS bringing me down? If the answer is no, get you a new man or don't. You're welcome. My fee is $0. Should have been charging the women she was passing on the now what's interesting here is sisterhood kind of going in on her. They're accurate about some things they're saying, but is they're going in and really in defense of him because he's still their guy? But she exposed so much in that interview. Now is like, they clowning her, saying she should have been charging the women she was passing on the stairs. I was referring to the interview where she was going upstairs to see him, and it was women on the way downstairs. She was in a rotation. It was like a schedule. It was, she had Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. I guess the 6 p.m. chick was on the way out. They was passing each other in the corridors and the stairway and shit. Like it was like that. She's a rotation chick that got pregnant. I wish I would pay an unhealed heifer to help me believe in Christianese that niggas ain't shit. Girl, bye. It's like, yeah, she went on. She's she's trying to profit off of that. She's trying to make a whole industry, a whole business out of her relationship with this man and what he did to her. But like I say, co-conspirator. She was right there with him. She was right there with him all the way. Now, one could argue that, hey, your man running $1 million business, he's engaging in some unsavory practices, but that's your man. You're gonna stick beside him. And she was there. She was there on the front lines. She was there on the front lines doing all the administrative work, doing everything. And yeah, it got to the point to where it was too much and she left. All right, part of that you don't want to knock, but there's inconsistencies in the story. That's more or less all I'm saying there. And the apple is not falling too far from the tree, or it's like somebody said, like husband, like wife. They both trying to get in. They both trying to get in on the whole hustle, of getting black women to fork over their dollars. Now, in other news, and I take no joy in talking about this one. I saw it. I thought it was a joke. All right. I legitimately thought this one was a joke when I first came across this. I thought somebody was lying to me. I thought somebody was legitimately lying to me when they told me that it was sisters fighting at the Little Mermaid premiere. Now, if you can remember the video when it first came out, that the Bailey chick, not Chloe Bailey, the one who don't got her ass all out. Funny how no Chloe Bailey, the one that got her ass everywhere. I can remember her name. Can't remember her sister's name. Maybe that's bad on me. The one who don't got her ass out. What's her name? Haley. Yeah. Haley Bailey. Yeah. Or is it Holly? Is it pronounced Holly or Haley? Nope. Game changer. Nope. You didn't. You spelled it wrong one of those times at least. I bet you spelled Chloe Bailey name right. I bet you get Chloe Bailey name spelled just right. You probably know her middle name. Okay, RM is telling me in the back that it's pronounced Holly. She's named after Holly Berry. Wow, that's crazy. They name you after a star and you go and become one. How often do that happen? It's a lot of broke ass people with celebrity names walking around. But how often do that just work out? They name you after a famous actress and you become a famous actress. Yeah. I mean, give it another, It's some soon to be, chicks at the welfare office with the name Beyonce. They got named after Beyonce. It didn't work out. Sometimes they name you after sometimes some people don't live up to their name. I worked with this fat ass ugly dude named, his name was Denzel Chestnut. Everybody called him DC. When we found out that his name was Denzel Chestnut, and then we looked at him, it's like, how the hell you got Denzel Washington and Morris Chestnut name warped into one name, and you got nerves to be, and you got nerves to be fat and ugly. Like the look of disgust that this woman had on her face when she found out. It's like she started fixing her hair like Denzel Chestnut. She turned around and looked. Oh. It's like some people just don't live up to their name, but Holly Bailey lived up to her name. She was named after Halle Berry, and she turned out to be a movie star. So good on her. But anyway, remember when the little kids was crying, the cute little black girls was crying. They was watching they recorded them watching the Little Mermaid trailer for the first time, and then while they're sitting there watching it, and then when they showed Halle Bailey, when they showed her as the mermaid, and the little girls was like, oh, she's black like me, and then started crying and everything. It was so beautiful and inspirational, and I know they felt like they could do everything, and they couldn't wait to get there on opening night. They couldn't wait to get there on opening night to watch it. And what do they get?
Oh, I need a refund on my ticket. No, we getting a refund because no.
Look at the optics. Look like the Little Mermaid swam up to the screen to watch that shit. Look at she was like, what the fuck? Y'all just setting. She swam up to the screen like, I know you bitches ain't in here fighting. Oh my goddamn premiere. Can't have shit. I'm the first and the last black Little Mermaid. Goddamn. She had to swim up to come look at that shit.
Hey, excuse me. We need a refund. What's going on? This is a kid's movie. Oh my God.
Okay, this clip that I found of it cut the part, and maybe that was a really good edit. But it was a clip where like you could hear like a whole new world playing in the background during the arguing. It was a part where they had that going. Maybe that was a good edit. But either way, that is just all kinds of horrible. That is just all kinds of horrible. Shout out to Sir Tice back in the building with another one. Says, she's coming to YouTube also, right? I put money on it. That's kind of what I'm getting at. There's a way that she could pull it off without, coming to YouTube or anything like that. But if she's truly trying to do it, if she's truly trying to do it, because the way that you're supposed to do YouTube, a lot of us do YouTube wrong. You're supposed to have something that you sell, and YouTube is just your basically your breeding ground where you create customers for the thing that you actually do. Like, so the thing that you want to actually do is her infidelity healing services. That's what you actually want to do for real, And so yes, using her social media platforms, like her Instagram is kind of popping, but YouTube is where it's at. YouTube is where it's at. Like, Instagram is set up to where you can just, kind of blast it out there. And maybe that'll work for her, because you get to talking too much on YouTube, and then now you're giving away your whole program. So maybe that works to keep a little mystery. Now I'm sitting there trying to come up with her business strategy. So I think, put it like this: if it works selling that stuff, whatever she's selling, if she could sell it without being on YouTube, she's just gonna sell it. But if after she run the course of that, if she run the course of trying to sell those courses and they don't sell, then she's gonna stay, and she probably would use YouTube to try to just stay in the limelight and just be up there talking and preaching and the whole works. She'll probably end up doing that. That is a fair prediction. But shout out to Sir Tice. Do appreciate you coming through on the super chat end. Do appreciate you coming through on the super chat end. All right. But yes. They up there squabbing. They up there squabbing at the Little Mermaid premiere. They are up there squabbing at the Little Mermaid premiere. One more thing that I'm going to get into before I open this thing up. I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about this. But starting next year, did you know that there will be woke and diversity requirements in order for a movie to be nominated by the Oscars? That is correct. Hollywood is going woke in a major way. The ratings for their last Oscar Academy Awards is the lowest it's been in years. Like, I think ever. I don't want to say ever, because the Oscars been around since black and white TVs. I'm sure they wasn't putting up the same numbers, better numbers back then. So, they're as low as they've ever been in the modern era. They are as low as they have ever been in the modern era, and they have diversity requirements that a movie must meet in order to be nominated for an Oscar. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different angles I can go with this. I'm curious what the people who complain a lot about white racism and white supremacy, I'm curious as to what they got to say about this, because a lot of really white powers to be are really bending to minority groups. It's like this is like, I'm not even sitting here saying white supremacy don't exist. I'm just saying this is some punk ass white supremacy. They can't even have their damn movies in peace. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm just saying it's some punk ass white supremacy if they just getting punked by gay people. They getting punked by. Let's look at what it says. I'm gonna read what it says. The requirements are, and of course, I'm not going to be able to find them the second I decide that I'm going to read it. Okay. It says the new guidelines include requirements like at least one actor from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group being in a significant role, or the story must center on women, LGBTQ people, or a racial group, or disabled people. Those are in order to be nominated for an Oscar. So you can make the movie could do well at the box office, it could be a wonderful story, it can make people cry in the theaters. But if at least one of the main actors is not from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group, if somebody from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group does not have a significant role in the movie, so they can't just do like, just a regular white movie with like an old wise black janitor that got like maybe 5 minutes of screen time, but he say something really inspirational that something that just inspired the star of the movie to go, accomplish all his goals. It's like, no. I don't think they're gonna go for that one. He got to be in that bitch. Like he got to be in there heavy. It's like, no, you just can't put him in a trope role. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. He got to be in there. That's what they're saying. He got to be in there. They're making requirements to get nominated by the Oscars. There's something that said something along the lines of 30%. Like, okay, it was a director. Hold on. All right, here it says the New Year's Oscars inclusion rules are already sparking debate. While the standards are well-intentioned, some producers say gathering data is confusing and bumps up against privacy law. How are we going to know who's gay when it's illegal to ask? You got to have a certain percentage of gay people in your movie. So yeah, as part of the record, you gotta break the law. You gotta do something unconstitutional, an unconstitutional violation of privacy to gotta ask them who they fucking. Curious, Jude Law, you fuck men, right? No, you sure? Why don't you just, so we can get nominated? Just be bi. Just say you're bi. No, you're not playing a gay character. I'm just saying we just need you to just be just a little gay on paper so we can get nominated. Come on, man. Come on. It's like they're gonna be doing stuff like that. It's like that's what it's gonna come down to. That's what it's gonna come down to. The quote says, I don't know, maybe someone on my crew was neurodivergent. This filmmaker says, it's not my place to ask. Did they do their job? Great. And how are we going to know who's gay when it's illegal to ask? But that's what it's coming down to. Says the Academy says it doesn't expect production companies to know every demographic detail about their workers. We acknowledge that not everyone who will disclose that information, says Academy Executive VP impact the inclusion. Janelle English of the questions. And despite the reservations of the producers like these, English says the first 2 years of the program have seen overwhelming high participation, noting that the majority of the films submitted Oscar submissions forms completed a version of RAISE. That's an acronym for something. I don't know what that acronym is for. That's an acronym for something, but that's the general gist of it. That's the general gist of it. And a part of me is saying to myself, I'm trying to find something else on that. A part of me is saying to myself that, look, it ain't my fight. That ain't my fight. That's white people fight, particularly white men's fight. And I remember with an Asian dude to be on Jason Whitlock. He said that he only listened to Black Manosphere channels. And he said the reason being is because white men are basically cucked or browbeaten into not wanting to come off as racist or homophobic or misogynistic. They got this serious fear of being canceled. They got this serious fear of being canceled to the point to where Steve Kim, that's his name, to where it's like they don't say nothing. But really, this is their fight, Black men, even though, I beat my chest, masculinity, patriarchy, yeah. Okay, but we included in that basket of deplorables. we're included in there. You know, the black actor, the black actor has to get that's affirmative action for the black actor. Now he got to play a gay role and be in a damn you know, you got to wear a tutu and or something. But you know, he's in there. He's in the door. So in that sense, you know, it's like I care about, you know, manhood and masculinity, and I don't like that basically the preference is women, LGBTQ, and you know, other ethnic minority groups and all of that. People of color, you know, of which we're included. I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, this don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. What if you're doing a period piece? I mean, the movie Schindler's List. It was. I don't remember any black people being in there. I do know that movie is rated like top 5 all time in on the Internet Movie Database. Like it's right. You know, it's The Godfather. I'm naming the movies that are rated, you know, as the top best movies ever on Internet Movie Database. I'm just going off the top of my head. I saw The Godfather and Godfather 2 on there. No black people in major significant roles. No women. No LGBTQ in major significant roles. So The Godfather, Schindler's List, Shawshank Redemption was ranked up there, and Morgan Freeman. Yeah, Morgan Freeman made the cut. You see, Morgan Freeman will help Shawshank Redemption make the cut. Plenty of great movies that can't be on there, and I'm like, you know, it's not necessarily. Or maybe somebody could convince me. I'll put the link in the chat. Maybe somebody could convince me why should, you know. It's almost like I'm not calling out white men, but it's like you can see where they're being excluded. You can see where they're being excluded. And I guess the argument, to steelman the argument, is that they're overrepresented. So we got to do all of this stuff here. We got to do all this stuff here to balance out or even the playing field. But they're making a ridiculous sounding rule to basically saying your art that you create can't be acknowledged by the Academy Award, that was the highest honor in filmmaking. You can't get that unless you meet some diversity requirements. And what we're seeing right here, this is what actually answers the question as to why that dude, the hairy chested dude in the woman's bathing suit with the bulge, this is what answers the question, why are companies, why did Adidas do that? This is what answers the question, why that what's the name, Dylan Maluve, the trans person that's in the Bud Light commercials. This is what answers the question why they do that. It's a score that they got to meet. It's called CEI score. Hood Servative in the chat. I know you know what it's called. The basically it's a woke score. Films have to pass a woke score, and companies do too. They have to pass that woke score. I forgot what it's called. Let me know in the chat room. No. ESG? I thought it was something with a C in it. My bad. I should know this. Yes, Dylan Mulvaney is the person who they're putting up there. You know, it's a reason why they're doing this, because these people have worked their ass off. They've infiltrated. Yes, a gay score, the Mac the Trucker. They've worked their ass off. I'm talking about gay people working their ass. Okay, they've worked their ass off to the point to where they've essentially infiltrated so many companies to the point to where they're changing it from within and making requirements, making requirements that have to be met in order for you to, I don't know, get a pat on the head. It's like it's it's ridiculous. CEI, I see companies like Nike and what is that? Companies like Nike and Anheuser-Busch use TransStar Dylan Mulvaney to push products, increasing their corporate equality index scores with influential LGBTQ lobbying group. There it is. That's why they're doing that. There's some score that's connected to some access that they got to pass. They got to alienate their customers, but they're going to maybe get it on the back end from some big lobbying group. Who the hell knows? But the shit is ridiculous. But with that said, we are going to Game Changer on this one. What is going on? What is going on? Mike, check on Game Changer. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, so I wish that people would see, like companies would see, something like the Oscars is really like, okay, you know those Employee of the Month awards, but it don't really get you any money. Like the purpose of work is to make money. The purpose of work isn't to have this award that says, like, what does it say? It doesn't mean anything. You know, I mean, granted, it is the respect of your peers, but once your peers start making these mandates, it's really just going to represent something else. It's going to represent this is the movie or thing that best that best, how can I say, met the mandate.
Yeah. It's not for the best movie. Yeah, it's not for the best movie anymore. It's the best movie that met a mandate. So yeah, the winning an Oscar means nothing at this point. Yeah.
Exactly. So the movie makers need to just up and say, like, you know something? If I had a choice between making a good movie that makes a lot of money or an Oscar-winning movie that's crap, and trust me, when you put in a lot of mandates and stuff like that, it is going to be crap. Okay, take Star Wars, for example, right? First Star Wars, great. And then they brought in Lando Calrissian. Now, Lando Calrissian was great. It was great. I mean, you know, the movie would have played just the same if he was a white person with the same swag. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, it was great. But they weren't overdoing it. They weren't just out there just shoving it in your face like, you know, oh, Lando Calrissian, he's the, you know, and then they just kill Han Solo and have him screw Leia. Like, they didn't do that. It was just, he was just like a regular person that just found his way into the Star Wars universe. Same with Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Like, they didn't try to like over shove it down your damn throat. And then the new Star Wars started coming. And then you have Finn. And then you have Rey. And then it's like, okay, now it's starting to get retarded. And then like once it becomes a mandate and then they just have to shove it down your throat, then it starts to get ridiculous. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the ridiculousness of it. You know, like
little known fact when you
even some L. Gibbets, they've always had like a prominent role in stuff. Always, you know, like X-Men. Jean Grey was the most powerful mutant there is, you know, next to the Scarlet Witch herself. I mean, nevertheless, you know, these are extremely powerful mutants and they are women, you know, a lot more powerful than Cyclops. Like, what the hell? So, and society was okay with this. But now when they make the mandate, like they got to shove it down your throat. And I knew it was something behind this. I knew it. Why? Because there used to be a respect, Bernard. There used to be a respect in TV where if they were going to do gay shit, they would warn you. They would warn me. You know, you see one man looking lovingly into another man's eyes and you're like, oh shit, let me turn my head. Because you know that they're about to kiss or some shit like that. But nope. Nowadays, they are shoving it. You know what they do? Because they did this on Empire. They did this on Empire to fuck with me, Bernard. So they'll show like a scene with regular sex scene with a sexy woman, and then they go straight gay, because they know you're gonna be watching, waiting for the chick to get naked or show her bra or some shit, and then they switch to the gay shit. They are fucking with you.
No,
And
the worst example of that is I think you said it was your favorite show, Game of Thrones. I'm sure it's up there. Game of Thrones did that the worst actually, because they showed it was a man and a woman in the bed, and you could kind of tell it was somebody else in the bed, but they specifically put the camera to where you couldn't see who else was in the bed. So it's like, so you start watching the little scene between the man and the woman naked in the bed, and then they just slide the camera over, and then it's a man also doing stuff to the man, and they're like, "Oh, whoa, y'all had me into that scene," and then you just threw an extra dude in the bed. It's like, so they do stuff like that all the time. One weird thing, I tried to cut you off, but you was on the roll. Little known fact I just found out. We're not about to get into the Star Wars discussion, but back in '96 when they were, because Phantom Menace, Mace Windu, that character was introduced to Star Wars through the movies in 1996. He's a Gay of Thrones. He was introduced to Star Wars in 1999 when Phantom Menace came out. In 1996 when they was doing the casting of that, they was gonna have Tupac play Mace Windu.
oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found that out a few weeks ago that Tupac
Well,
was gonna
I
play
knew
Mace
Samuel L.
Windu.
Jackson is a fan of Star Wars and that he begged for any role to that he would take any role just to be part of the Star Wars franchise, and they gave him a major role, but I didn't know that Tupac was up for it. I couldn't really see him in that, not that Tupac's not talented, it's just that Jedi Masters are older and Tupac was very young. He was 24 at that age, so
that wouldn't have, that would not have looked right now to think about it, because and that would have took away from Anakin was like the young golden boy, and Mace Windu would have been looking like the same thing, because he was just as powerful as Yoda, but was that young, then hell, why wouldn't he the chosen one? But it makes sense.
Yeah, Mace Windu would have been just like a lesser version of Anakin. Like, he's a powerful Jedi, but he's not the chosen one. Like, he would be Lando Calrissian. Like, yeah, he's not quite Han Solo, but he's getting, like, it would be something like that. Yeah, Tupac, yeah, that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, it would have been a miscast, but I would have liked to seen it. I would have liked to have seen that. Now let me ask you this question about all this stuff. Now I was pondering this, I was thinking on it, and I didn't have my thoughts fully formed on it. Maybe you can help me out. This stuff like this, like I said, it's kind of not our fight. Like, because when you look at everybody that they say must be included in a major or significant role, I'll read it again. The new guidelines include requirements like at least one actor from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group being in a significant role, or the story must center around women, LGBTQ people, or a racial group, or disabled people. So the only people, and you got to turn your volume down so I can hear myself in the background. The only people that are, basically singled out of this is straight white men who are not handicapped. So it's sort of like, hey, this is our fight. Like, so as black men, make the case as to why we should give that much of a shit. I'm looking at it and I can see that it's bullshit. But as black men, why should we give that much of a shit? Oh, you muted. You're muted.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, so the reason why we should give a shit as black men is because we watch movies and we watch TV.
No, I'm talking just the social aspects of it. We watch movies and we want to see good movie. We want to see a good Star Wars movie, not one that's woke and meets requirements. Yeah, from that standpoint. But from a social, cultural, political standpoint, it's like,
no, for that reason. Listen, they are making movies crapper. LGBTQ storylines. That's got to be so they are tampering with stories now. You know, they are making it crap. They're making movies crap to meet some type of mandate. And black men, don't think for a second you're gonna benefit from this shit. Don't
Mm.
think for a second you are going to benefit from it at all, period. You are not. You are not. You think that they are going to cast you over a retarded white person? If you think that, you are stupid. If you think that they are going to cast you over a crippled Asian, you are stupid. No, no. Whenever we get into this whole affirmative action wars, black men lose. Why? Because listen. On this index that you are all are talking about, you know that you rank the same as a white woman. I'm going to repeat that. On the index that they are referring to, you are just as much of a minority as a white straight woman. This is not a win for you at all. And really, white women aren't minorities because it's more of them than white men, but we know what they're getting at, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like that. You're not going to win from this. This is your fight because they're making movies shit. I haven't even seen this new Disney shit, but I know that it's shit. I know that it's shit. Why? Because I'm willing to bet that they nerfed the white man, that they weakened his role to make her stronger. I'm willing to bet that that's what they did because that's what they do. They did it with Obi-Wan Kenobi. They did it with Han Solo. They did it with Luke Skywalker.
What movie
They
you talking about
always,
now?
huh?
Was it a specific movie you was talking about? You said you haven't. Oh, when you said you haven't seen this new Disney shit, you just meant in general.
No, I'm talking about Little Mermaid. You the one you mentioned earlier.
Oh, you know what?
I'm willing to bet that they weakened the male lead, the white dude that's the male lead. You know, I bet you that they weakened him in order to make her look stronger because they always do that shit. They did it with Rey. They did it, you know, they weakened Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, you know, they weakened everybody to make her appear stronger. They they did it to make Leia appear stronger too. They do the shit all the time. They weaken the men's roles and then they just in order to strengthen the women's role by proxy. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right, and one other thing that I'm seeing, and then this is what I was trying to find. It says having at least 30% of the general ensemble cast be from at least 2 underrepresented groups. You know, like I said, women, ethnic minorities, LGBTQ plus people, or people with disabilities. So basically, yeah, they gotta okay. All movies is gonna look like the cast to you know, when Jubilee put together a group of people and they try to make sure they represent everybody imaginable, even, you know, peg leg, albino, cockeyed midgets with face tattoos. They got to make sure they serve that community like that. That's how movies about to be looking. But
Well,
they
and
saying
there's a reason why they
30%,
do
like
that.
30% is a lot. That's like if it's 5 characters in the movie, no matter what the movie is about, it could be about a damn football team. Well, okay, well, I was I'm sure they'll just use a black and a Mexican then, but you know, but because I don't think that they probably will work in a gay football player and a woman on the football team. They'll probably end up doing some shit like that too. So, but 30%, that's basically that's you know that's practically 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 out of 5 people in the ensemble cast gotta be, you know, women, ethnic minority, LGBTQ, or disabled people. Like that's.
I mean, if I were a white man, I would just make a good movie and not give a crap about the Oscars. Because what does it really say? It doesn't really say anything like, oh, I won an Oscar. Like I was a good actor or producer or director, whether I won it or not. So, you know, once they start reaching that conclusion, then the Oscars will mean nothing.
Yeah, but
But
I don't think they've crossed over to that yet because I mean,
no,
actors
no,
still
but they
they be
will because
crying on they be crying on stage when they get their Oscars. I mean, when Denzel be nominated, when they calling off the nominees, he be having tears in his eyes. They starting to do him like they do what's the chick name? Damn, Aaron probably know. What's the chick name that got nominated 16 times and only won like 2? Meryl Streep. They starting to do him like Meryl Streep. It's like they gave him that one Oscar for Training Day. Now he just get nominated a lot and don't ever win. But he be sitting there teared up when they're calling off the names and stuff. Like they emotionally invested into that. That's the Super Bowl for them. It's the Super Bowl. So I don't know if it's going to be that easy for them to just come down from just saying, fuck this shit, we out. They should just look at it like, hey, I'm gonna make a good movie. I'm about the people. I'll be the people's champ. Fuck
well, no, it's not really. I'm not really concerned with the actors are thinking. Really, what I'm more concerned with is what the movie directors and writers. It's the writers that I'm concerned with.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the ones who are going to have to meet this ridiculous mandate and things, because they're the ones who determine that and the directors, if the movies are good or not. Like most movies I really like that have black people in it or, have something strange in it, I really don't care what the race of the person is. Like Game of Thrones, it got kind of weird because it's supposed to be medieval, like Europe type. And, they just had the random black people there. So, and I'm talking about the new ones in House of Dragon.
Yeah, they just looked oddly placed. Yeah,
they were definitely oddly out of place. Exactly, and it was very forced. And it's like, okay, you're
because even in the original, that one big, sort of fat black dude. It's like they had Daenerys, she like traveled kind of far, and even when she went and traveled far, I forgot where. When she got there, it was one black dude there, but he was like his origin story, he wasn't from there. He like traveled to get there, so it made sense. I mean, because obviously in that time, they didn't go through a civil rights movement back then, so wherever black people were in Game of Thrones time, they would be separated and segregated into their own thing. I thought it would have been pretty damn cool if they would have encountered a black group like the Dothrakis. They look like some big strong ass Mexicans, but they were their own group over there, isolated, doing their own thing, and you could just see where they they collaborated with everybody else, but they were their own thing with their own culture. That made sense. But if you just walking around through I'm forgetting names, Castle Rock or whatever the hell, and it just was a Dothraki dude sitting there, with a fruit market, on the selling fruit on the side of the, I was like, wait, what the hell? That don't look right. But so it's you gotta make stuff make sense continuity wise.
Exactly.
When I see, and it just stuff just don't be making sense. That's all.
Well, the character that you're talking about, he mentions that he's from the Summerlands. He's from the Summerlands, and really the Unsullied are mulatto. They're obviously mixed, but they're also from the Summerlands. They were slave traded from the Summerlands. So apparently that is the place where black people come from in the Game of Thrones universe. Yeah. And however, this which makes sense, and it makes sense that some of them will make their way, into Ethos and Westeros, as for whatever reasons, by whatever reasons that people immigrate from one place to another. That's how they get there. But this new thing, this whole family, comes from old Valyria, which was not only white, like super white, like platinum blonde hair and purple eyes and shit, like literal purple eyes in the books. So, so it's forced. It's forced, and it does take a little bit from it, and then they throw in the black elves on this new Lord of the Rings stuff, and it's like, okay, you're gonna have to explain where they all went, in the future. But
it was a race war in Middle Earth. They killed you can't have black people in the prequels. You cannot have black people in the prequels, and don't explain why there's no black people in the original. Exactly. Apparently there was a black genocide in a world where there's humans, elves, orcs, and hobbits. They was like, fuck that. We got to get the niggas out of here of all races. And then we got to get rid of the black hobbits. They killed off the black hobbits, the black elves, the black
and humans, the black dwarves.
The black dwarves is like, they got to explain that one. All right.
I mean, they could say, because we're talking thousands of years, they can say that they were bred out with everything except the elves, because elves are immortal. It's like, no.
Ooh.
Where did the elves, the black elves who were alive, who still should be alive because they're immortal, where did they go? You can't say bred out, or somebody like Rashida Strober would say, "Oh, that's because y'all like light-skinned girls," or some shit like that. No, where did the black elves go? So it's stuff like that. It's starting to get ridiculous. I, as a black man, don't mind watching all white or primarily white movies. I do not. Something about Mary, great movie, funny as hell, interesting. It had 2 black people, and they did not have significant roles. And no, there was no LGBT, because it's a rom-com about straight people love. So, like, none of that was needed. See, here's what they're doing, Bernard. Here's what society wants to do. What they're looking for is a new market group. They're looking for a new market group. See, all of the market groups have been, all of the market groups are getting old and stale. Now, what do I mean when I say a market group is getting old? Okay. Mexicans, for example, right? That's a market group. That is what they are. If you want to sell something, you want to make a commercial for them, you market to that particular group. You make it in Spanish, or you have Spanish actors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can market a product to that group. Now, the problem with this, and this isn't me thumping on Mexicans or anything like that, but they already have a set culture. You cannot add something to what's already in their culture. You can't convince them to not drink Coronas and drink Coors or something. Coors don't even waste their time trying to get them to change from Corona. That is them. They're set. That's part of who they are. So now what they've done in the past, since the Obama administration, now what they started doing was like, okay, everybody's part of their market group. Black people are part of their market group. They like what they like, and they're not going to change. White people the same, in the subgroups, the goth white kids, the emu, the hipsters, they all are set in their ways, and they know what they're going to buy, and you're not going to change that for them. So we need new market groups. We need new people so they can buy new shit, so they say, okay, what do the gay people, they don't know, like, what's the official gay drink? There isn't one. So now they create a new group, a new market group, by just, LGBT this, LGBT, they create a new market group, try to make it as popular as possible so they can advertise their shit to them. You are no longer what you were before. You're no longer black. You're an L Gibbet. You're no longer Mexican, you're L Gibbet. You're no longer a woman, you're L Gibbet. You're part of this rainbow shit. So now that they got you this new market group, they're going to try to influence your culture to buy whoever wins, whatever product wins. It's like, okay, black people wear Nikes. What do gay black people wear? We're going to, since they identify as this, we could be the new shoe of the L Gibbet. They're trying, that's what they're doing. And that's why they're marketing to these little groups of what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
I was lost in, let's call it that. These outliers.
Yeah,
they're desperate.
The glue guy. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying they're desperate. They're running out of people. They're running out of people who don't have set cultures, so they're creating new ones.
Shout out to Sir Tice. The glue guy in the chat room says, who was black on something about Mary? Need a reminder. Mary's dad was black, was he not?
Yeah, his stepdad.
Yeah, her stepdad. Yeah, it was played by that one. Okay, I can't even think of what movie.
Yeah, he's the guy with one of the most interesting voices.
Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah.
He played on Dead Presidents.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, so that guy,
I like
he
him in
played
pretty
the
much
dad, and
everything. Yeah, I like him in pretty much everything he be in. Yeah, he's a good actor.
yeah,
Sir Tice in the
he's perfect
building.
for every role he's had.
Yeah. Sir Tice in the building with the $5 super chat. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate that. He says, outside of Tubi, I say no to Tubi. All right. Tubi be on some bullshit. There's no other way around that. No, I don't even watch it. I just see the highlights. They be roasting Tubi with those black movies and the weird shit that be going on in some of those Tubi movies. Maybe it's some good ones, but social media be clowning all the bad ones where somebody gets shot in the somebody gets shot in the chest and then fall forward like the impact of the bullet plunge. They just be doing weird stuff. You know, it is somebody doing like a dead man fall, but they turn and catch themselves and then die. It's like just weird shit. They don't quite do it right. But he says outside of Tubi streaming, what movies are made that target hetero black male audiences? I'm all for burn Hollywood burn. I know, extreme. I mean, you don't even got to be all for burn it. You know. They doing it. They're doing it themselves. They're doing it themselves. So it barely matters at that point. It barely matters at that point. They're literally they're bending over backwards. You know, movies will still be movies, and people will still go watch movies. But the Academy Awards is
No,
just
they're
going to
not.
be.
People aren't going to still watch movies.
Well, it depends.
When's
If
the last time
everybody,
you've been to the movies?
I go to the movies. I went to go see the George Foreman movie. It was good.
Okay, well, you're a person that watch movies. Okay, how many was the theater full?
No, not really.
Yeah. See, how many people go to the movies anymore? You know, and you want to know why? Because they suck. You know, the last movie I went to was also a boxing movie, you know, about a black man boxing, Creed 3. That was the last time I went to the movies. You know,
Okay.
but make no mistake, movies are sucking and people are going to the movie theaters less and less and less because they continue to suck. So they're getting desperate. And now what they're
Wait, when you
doing
went to
is
the movies to see Creed, hold on, wait, you don't seem like you in the boxing movies. You went with a chick to see that?
no, I actually like Creed.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm
Yeah,
just
no. I
I
mean,
just
don't
know
tell
you
me
don't be knowing nothing about you don't be knowing nothing about.
I didn't like the Rocky franchise and I like the Creed franchise. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. It just you don't be
Yeah.
knowing nothing about sports, so I was thinking sports
Well,
movie.
no, boxing is a sport, but when I say sports, I'm talking about like football, basketball, and baseball. I feel that you know, who was the third baseman in 1989 for the A's? And y'all know that shit. I don't like what the fuck.
Yeah. I don't know that,
So
but
yeah, well, I'm just saying, like
it was
I'm not that
baseball.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I got
no,
it.
like the main sports is I don't watch, but MMA and boxing, yeah, I watch that.
Okay, cool.
Stuff that's come on pay-per-view. But
Yeah.
anyway, what was I saying?
You're talking about
My
the
point
movies
is that movies suck. And movies suck before this woke stuff. Before it went woke, movies were sucking pretty bad. Now, what that means is they are desperate and they want to get asses in seats, even if the people don't want to see the shitty movie. See, for example, right? And that was staged. By the way, that was staged.
What
That
was?
little girl who was like, "Oh, Ariel's black." What the fuck? How the parents gonna find out for the kid? That whole thing was fair. How you gonna get your daughter? But you see, they do crap like that because they want people to watch their stuff based on tribal loyalty versus if the movie is good. Okay, just to be clear, The Little Mermaid sucked. And I'm not talking about this new one. I'm talking about the old one sucked. It sucked. The music wasn't good enough, and the premise didn't make any damn sense. It sucked. And I was a kid. As a kid, this movie sucked. Okay? It was one of the worst ever. Now, Ariel is not even the hottest Disney princess. I was saying that as a kid. You know, she's not Princess Jasmine, and then there's Pocahontas, and then there's Belle. She's not even in the top 3. Okay, it sucked in every single way. So what they do to try to repackage something that already sucked was put a black person in, hoping that black people, and they are that stupid. Y'all are that stupid. They'll say, "Oh, this person is black, so I'm gonna watch this movie because it's black." That doesn't mean shit. It's a sucky movie.
When you look at a mermaid, even I mean, you said she wasn't one of the best Disney princesses, but still was very attractive. Like, did you look at her, thinking like you wanted some of that, but never really processed like how do you even like get in it? Like, you ever thought about that?
No,
Like,
no,
I
I don't.
mean, yeah, I mean, I've seen there's been a lot of movies with mermaids, and it was like they are these majestic, things, and men are attracted to it. But it's like I just sit there and thought, like, how do you fuck a mermaid? It's like
Well, I think that the attraction is at least in Legends, I think it's something with their voice. I think they could sing or something, and that they're enchantress. If I'm not mistaken, mermaids originally were Greek, and they lived in the Aegean, and yeah, that they were supposed to have like voices that hypnotize men, like Jedi mind trick men.
okay, I
You know,
see.
I could be wrong, but I think that that's what they were. They were originally from the Aegean, which means that they were white. You know, but I'm not gonna split hairs on that one. But my point is they are trying to get people to they're trying to get asses in seat just for race loyalty. Why? Because they can't write good movies anymore. They're just repackaging old movies because people don't have creativity anymore. I'm talking about movie writers. They don't have any creativity. When was the last original concept movie that you seen?
The last original concept movie that I seen,
Yeah,
um, hmm,
exactly.
probably Interstellar.
What's that about?
Uh, Space. It's one of my
That's
favorite
not
movies.
original concept. Space is not an original concept.
All right, so in that sense, there's no such thing as an original concept.
Exactly. That's my point. They ran out of ideas. Why do you think we're constantly repackaging shit? Like all the top movies, that came out in like the last 10, 20 years, what were they? They were comic books. They were comic books in the 80s. They're just repackaging other ideas that people came up with in the 80s and prior. Even Creed was just, ooh, Rocky. Okay, let's follow up on that. These are just follow-ups on stuff that already exists because they're fresh out of ideas. They're fresh out of ideas, so they're just bringing stuff back from the 80s, same with Star Wars, same with all this. I mean, they like
Man, he said
Game of Thrones
Avatar.
is really just like a okay, Avatar, that's an exception, right?
I
Avatar.
know, but the storyline is not no exception. The
No, it's the
storyline
same as
is
Last of the Mohicans and all that crap, and
in
Last Samurai.
Pocahontas
I
and
mean, it really
everything.
is, but the fact that they did it with the aliens is somewhat original. Okay, I'll give them that.
The whole alien concept of it. But he said Memento. I don't that was came out in the 2000s. That was a Christopher Nolan movie. Somebody said Inception, another Christopher Nolan movie. I said Interstellar, another Christopher Nolan movie. He liked the best director in the business. Even that movie Tenet with Denzel Washington's son was good. Even though I didn't understand it worth shit, I'm gonna try to watch it again. But I could tell it was good. It was confusing. But that's what I normally mean is good if I have to watch it 3 times to get it. So
Somebody
yeah,
said Avatar was Fern Gully. I actually like
yeah,
Fern
Ferngully.
Gully.
Not I
So
see. I meant to say I said Pocahontas. I meant to say Ferngully. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so my point is that movies, okay, with exceptions, with few exceptions, I will give them that, are shit. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to give you more shit. Like they're trying to repackage it. Like, okay, this is ethnic shit. Why? Because they're trying to get asses in seats. And they can't do it with making an original concept movie. And I get it. The longer people are making movies, the harder it is to, come with an idea that somebody hasn't thought of already. Because people had time to think of stuff. People been making movies since Hollywood, like 100 years ago, literally. So it does make sense. It's like, wow, what can I think of that somebody in the last 100 years haven't already thought of? I get it. It's a challenge, but don't try to take some of the same stuff and repackage it with some cripples in it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
No.
Like,
They gotta have one of the handy. Oh well, damn. You know what's funny? I was about to jokingly say they gotta have a handicap Avatar or one of the Navi people, but in the original Avatar movie, the main character was in a wheelchair, and it was perfect within the framework of the story.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what made that whole experience amazing for him, because he couldn't walk at home, but when he got to control the Avatar body, he got he basically got his legs back, and that was no doubt a part of the reason why he was more susceptible to accepting and embracing that world versus going back and living as a human in the wheelchair. There was like a you could see it, it made sense, like stuff. It's okay when it makes sense. That's all I'm saying. It's okay
Exactly.
when it makes sense.
Exactly. And I get it, but you shouldn't over pander. Like Geordie LaForge was blind. He had that beret on his eyes and shit on Star Trek The Next Generation. And he was black. So I get it. You have a little bit, if you have 13% of the population and you want to pander to them, then you make 13% of your main character, it makes sense. However, don't go full retard with it. Don't go completely ridiculous with it. And that's
Yeah.
what modern movies are doing. They feel that they can cover bad storylines with ethnic diversity.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I'm about to play a clip of Bill Maher talking about this whole thing. I haven't seen this, but this was a while ago, because they actually announced 2 years ago that they're making a change. It's sort of back in the news because 2024 is the year that they're going to start it. So it'll be official next year. So that's why this whole story is kind of resurfaced. But this was 2 years ago, Bill Maher talking about the announcement. So I'm about to roll the beautiful. Yeah. I mean, tell that to. that's a tough
that
one.
part is not true.
Yeah.
I mean, it took him he broke into the movie industry a long time ago. He was in DC Cab, but no, that's simply not true. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. A person would rather be hired on their merit, but because the pay is so high and it's such a competitive thing that people just want to get in, and don't really care how or why.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is true. All right, it's about 13 more seconds.
They want to be hired because they're good, and most of them are.
All right. Just wanted to see what Bill Maher normally got a decent. No, oh shit, wrong one. Where are we trying to find? Where's there it is. Normally got an interesting take on things. So I did want to check that out before we got out of here. We at the 2-hour mark. We about to wrap this thing on up. That's the night show schedule. I don't know what kind of schedule I'm be on. Just keeping it real. Keeping it real. I don't know what kind of schedule we're going to be on. As I can see some changes is taking place, but we might be still on the same night show schedule. We'll see. But all right. I'd like to thank everybody who came on out, everybody who participated in the stream in any way, shape, or form. Do appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.
Peace.